Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph will begin Lamed Beis, 9 lines from the bottom. We learned in the Mishnah that if a person places Eruv in a tree, if it's above 10 Tvachim, the Eruv is not valid. In order to be valid, it has to be Hu ve'eruva b'mokim echad. Him and his Eruv, they have to be in one place. The Eruv has to be accessible to him on the onset of Shabbos. If the Eruv is in a tree above 10 Tvachim, the area above 10 Tvachim is a Rishus Yachid. If his intention is to be kind of shvisa on the ground, on the bottom, which is a Rishus Harabim, then the Eruv is not accessible because you cannot bring the Eruv from the tree, which is a Rishus Yachid, to Rishus Harabim. So it's not an Eruv. So now the Gemara is going to qualify this case of the Mishnah. That's only if the Eruv is there on the outskirts of the city. It's beyond 70 2/3 amas from the city. So it's outside the city, it's not considered, it's not within the city limits. But if the tree in question is within the city limits, if it's b'seichi bur shalir, afilu l'mala mesar reis Eruv, then even if it's above 10, it still should be considered an Eruv, demasa kiman demal yadami. Because for the purposes of Eruv Chatzeres, we would consider anything within the city we're talking about, an enclosed city, that it's mala offer, that it's filled with earth, that it's all enclosed. So therefore, the area above 10 is also considered to be an enclosed area, and therefore we would consider him to be, his Malkam Shvisa, to be on the top of the tree. So him and his Eruv, the Eruv is accessible to him. Now as Rashi points out, Midaraisa, this does not change the status of the top of the tree. We don't consider the top of the tree to be Kaman Tamalia and affect its status in terms of a Rishus Daraisa. But this concept that we say that if it's in with the Burishil's ear, it's within the city, within the outskirts of the city, we say that anything that's within that area is all considered to be, therefore, in one Rishus Yachid, to be in one Rishus. So we would consider, for the purposes of the Eruv, to be in one Rishus, Hu ve'eruva b'makom echad, and that the Eruv is in the same Rishus as him, and he would be the Eruv would be kind of shvisa. Even though midaraisa, if he's on the ground, it's in a Rishus Harabim, and the tree on top is a Rishus Yachid, he cannot physically bring the Eruv to him, because that would be bringing from Rishus Yachid to Rishus Harabim. But in terms of the Eruv, for the purposes of the Eruv, we view it all as it's one area, he's within the city, and therefore the Hu ve'eruva b'makom echad, and it would be a valid Eruv. Another qualification, so Rava says, even if it's outside the Bor Shel Ir, Rava says that a person, besides the 2,000 amas, a person says that he has Dalet amas. The Dalet amas of a person, the Dalet amas surrounding where he is considered to be his Rishus, his domain. So therefore, we would say, even if it's outside the Bor Shel Ir, we would say that Havyale Rishus Yachid. The area where he is considered to be a Rishus Yachid. Rishus Yachid Oilad Rakia, and we know Rishus Yachid is Oilad Rakia, and therefore it's again considered Hu ve'eruva b'makom echad, because it's all considered to be one Rishus Yachid, one enclosed area. Him and as Eruv are considered to be in that area. He's considered to be in the area where the Eruv is. Again, this is not negea to the dinim of Haitzah Daraisa, of carrying a Rishus Daraisa, but in terms of the Rabbanan Degadin of Eruvin and of the Tchumin, we would consider this to be all one Rishus. So now, in the case of the Mishnah said that if it's in the tree above 10, it's not an Eruv. So now we have to qualify this case of the Mishnah. Where is it that we are saying that if it's above 10, it's not an Eruv because it's not accessible to him. We're talking with the tree that the branches are beyond Dalet Amas. The branches extend 4 amas away from the trunk. So the branches extend 4 amas away from the trunk, and it's common Lishva Zikri, and his intent is that his Malkum Shvisa, that he's kind of Shvisa, his dwelling is on the base of the tree. So for instance, if you have a tree and it has a branch that extends out 4 amas or more away from the trunk. He wants to make his shvisa on the base, and the Eruv is here. The Eruv is here, and he wants to be kind of shvisa on the base of the tree. The trunk is here, and this is 4 amas away. So over here we say that it makes a difference of where the height is. Now, the Gemara says, "Frekti Gemara, Maila Mala Maila Mata." Well, what is Lamala Lamata? What's above and below? If you're talking about that where he's extending out, it's extending out, then it's not above and below. What is the lotion of above and below? The Hadar Zakif, the branch then turns up, and it turns and it goes higher. So therefore we say as follows. If this branch, the horizontal part, is below 10, it's below 10 tefachim, then branch turns up. Now, if he places the Eruv on the part of the branch that's higher, on the higher part, that's higher than 10, he can't bring the Eruv to where he is because this is a Rishus HaYachid and this is a Rishus HaRabbi. So, therefore, the Eruv is not an Eruv. If he places it on the area that is below 10, now even though this is a Rishus HaRabim, he could bring the Eruv to him. You can't carry Dalet Amas in a Rishus HaRabim, but he can take it pachas, less than Dalet Amas at one time. He can take it in intervals and steps which are less than Dalet Amas, walk less than that, stop, and then start again, so he can bring it to him. It involves this area on the tree that is more than 3 tefachim, between 3 and 10 tefachim is a karmelis. As we said, we're going according to Rebbe, that he's not geyser ashuos ben hashmashis. The kinyan of the Eruv is ben hashmashis, and therefore he could bring it from the karmelis to the Rishus HaRabim, the base of the tree, where he is being kind of shvisa. So if it's higher than 10, it's a Rishus HaYachid. He can't bring it to the Rishus HaYachid and bring it to where he is on the base of the tree, which is a Rishus HaRabim. If it's below 10, then he could bring it because he can take it pachas midalat amas. And even though it's a karmelis, Rebbe's not goyzer shus ben hashmashos, so he can bring it from to where he is at the base of the tree. Well, in any event, why can't he bring it? Even if it's above 10, if he wants, he can bring it through the branches, carry it from the branches, and bring it down to the bottom. Now again, using the tree, even though it's also to be mishtamish, be elon, but that's a drabanan. We're going according to Rebbe, who says that shvos not goyzer ben hashmashos. So why can't he bring it through the branches and then bring it down? And it won't involve carrying from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim. Why is that? How can he bring it down here? He still can't bring it down. It's Rishus HaYachid and he's in Rishus HaRabim. But like we said before, once he brings it to the air above the base of where he is, then we say that the Malkum Shvisa, his Dalet Amas, it's all considered, as far as the Eruv is considered, one Rishus HaYachid, and it's considered like his Eruv, and he and his Eruv are in the same place. It should be considered like one domain. So what's the problem of bringing that? Moran says, Kisharam Mekasvan Alav, and talking in the case where people use this area in the tree, that Rab Mekasvan Alav, that they lean on this, or they put their loads on this branch over here, the Makas and Olav, and therefore, even though it's below 10 and it's above 3 below 10, it's not considered a Carmelis because if it has the use of the Ram, they use it, they put their loads on, they rest on it, it's considered to be part of the Tashmish of the Rabbim, of the usage of the Rabbim for the Rabbim. It's considered like the Rishus HaRabbim. So therefore, if this area over here is a Rishus HaRabbim, he can't bring it, if the Erev is on the part of the tree above 10, he can't bring it and carry it over here, because he'll be carrying from a Rishus HaYochid to a Rishus HaYochid over the airspace, derech Rishus HaRabbim, over the airspace of the Rishus HaRabbim, which is Masechet. So again, he cannot bring it because that's considered Masechet, because this is a Rishus HaRabbim. So therefore, it's not accessible. My Rebbe, my Rabbanan. Where do we see the makor for this machlokes of Rebbe and Rabbanan? We said that Rebbe says that kol dar mishum shvus, where the Isser is an Isser d'Rabbanan, le gozer la ben hashmashos. They weren't gozer on it during the ben hashmashos period, and the Rabbanan argue on that. Where do we see this machlokes? This one we learn in the Brayso, and this one we learn in the Malam Asor Tvachim. If a person put the Eruv on the tree higher than 10 Tvachim, ein Eruv Eruv. It's not a kosher Eruv. Lemata me'asor Tvachim, Eruv Eruv. If it's below 10, it's a kosher Eruv. The also litla, but on Shabbos you can't take it. Even though it's below 10, it's still also to take it on Shabbos, because the area below 10 is a Carmelis, and it's also to shtamish bilam. B'sayif shloisha muter litla, but if it's within 3 of the ground, it's muter, and you can even take it off the tree, even off the tree, it's muter, because what's within 3 of the grounds is considered like on the karka. And therefore, there's no isser to use the tree. It's considered to be like on the karka. It's considered to be on the ground. And the area itself, below 3 tefachim, is considered to be part of the Rishus HaRabbim in the area where he is, where he's kind of shvisa on the Rishus HaRabbim. Nisana b'kalkola utlo be'ilan, if you put it in a basket and hung it from the tree, afil l'malam asor tefachim eruv erev divrei Rebbe. Then, even if it's higher than 10, the erev is an erev. That's what Rebbe says. But the Chum say any place where it's also to take it from on Shabbos, there is not an erev. So we see over here that the Chachamim say if it's also to be metaltalit on Shabbos, it's not an erev. So Chachamim oimrim ahai. What case are the Chachamim going on? If you say they're going on the case of the Seifa, that when Rabbi says it's in the basket, and he says that the Rabbanan say, no, even if it's in a basket, it's not an Eruv, it's not a kosher Eruv, because the basket is hanging from the tree, and therefore it's considered like you're using the tree. Well, that would imply, if you say that it's in the basket, and the basket is hung from the tree, it's also to take from the basket, you're not using the tree, you're using the basket which is on the tree, which is snodim, the sides of the tree. Now there's a shaila in the Gemara. The Gemara has a clear, is the Rabbanan to the Asr, and the Asr, the tree is using the tree on Shabbos. The Gemara on Shabbos has a shaila, does that include snodim? Well, if we see from this brisa, if the Rabbanan are saying you the basket is also, that shows you that snodim is also. So why would the Gemara have the shaila? Why wouldn't they quote this brisa? It says very clearly the Chum say that snodim masurim. So therefore, obviously, the Gemara is not understanding that the Chachamim oimrim kol makom she'asur litla as referring necessarily to the case of the basket. So therefore, since that's the case, elo aresha, we must say that it's going on the resha. It's going on the case of the Reisha, and the Reisha is talking without a basket. Rebbe says that if it's on the tree, if it's above 10 tefachim, it's also because he cannot bring the Erev to him, it's not accessible because the Erev is in Rishus HaYochid, is in Rishus HaRabbim. Rebbe says that if it's below 10, that it's muter. The Chum say, no, even below 10, it's also. So what does that show you? The Rebbe holds that if it's below 10, the Isser to bring the Eruv to him would be at a Drabanan, either bringing from a Carmelist to the Rishus Yachid or using the tree, both which are Isser Drabanan. Rebbe says, therefore, it's mutter, because you're kind of the Eruv Ben Hashmashas. And called over Shemishum Shvuz, Loi Gozral Ben Hashmashas. The Isser of the Carmelis and the tree are both shus. They're like other Ben Hashmashas. But the Rabbanan say that Kol Mokim shall also litlai, where it's also to take it on when you cannot bring it to him, then it's not kind of the Eruv. So they hold that it's also to bring the Eruv to him, even though it's Mishum Shvus, then it's still also, and therefore you're not kind of the Eruv. So that shows you the machlekes over here. The Rebbe says that if it's Mishum Shvus loigos or Ben Hashmashas, the Rabbanan say Kol Mokum Sha'asu, it's also to take the Eruv Shabbos. The Eruv is not an Eruv. Therefore, you see that they argue on that principle, and they say no, that it is also even Ben Hashmashas.